Уважаемый господин Маркос,
Your Excellency, President Marcos, ladies and gentlemen, together with His Excellency Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the President of Philippines, the state currently chairing the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, we'd like to inform you about the outcomes of the recently concluded regular ASEAN-Russia summit. Indeed, our meeting went very well, it was very productive, and it was held in a friendly and business-like atmosphere. It brought together leaders, heads of government, leading politicians, and statesmen from all 11 countries of ASEAN, as well as the Secretary General of ASEAN. That testifies vividly into the real interest, both from Russia and the states of Southeast Asia, in future development of mutually beneficial cooperation, underpinned by time-tested traditions of friendship and accumulated experience of multifaceted and fruitful partnership. Strategic dimensions of cooperation between Russia and ASEAN countries for the future are enshrined in the outcome document of the summit, Kazan Declaration. It highlights specifically the commitment of all of our states to building a just and democratic multipolar world order founded on widely recognized principles of international law and the UN Charter. ASEAN-Russia Plan of Action was also adopted, and it contains specific measures to strengthen ties of our country with ASEAN in politics and security, trade and investment, culture and humanitarian sphere. I'd like to highlight that during the summit, many constructive ideas and useful practical notions were voiced as to how to galvanize partnership in economic sphere. Participants advocated for a qualitative and quantitative improvement of mutual trade, fine-tuning its structure, and expanding mutual investments. And for that, it's crucial to switch in financial settlements on commercial deals into national currencies and to eliminate remaining trade barriers, simplify administrative procedures. There are good opportunities for diversification for all of our countries. That goes for diversification of commercial trade. Russia offers increased exports in ASEAN states of products with high added value, including fertilizers and medicines. Naturally, we'll continue to supply our Asian friends with food and energy, which are very high in demand. Our country facilitates the states of the region in developing their nuclear energy. Rosatom has unique technology of building nuclear power plants using most stringent environmental and safety and security standards. Rosatom can not only build NPPs, but they can also help build from scratch a new peaceful atom industry. It's a turnkey service. They can train dedicated specialists and transfer experience and knowledge in such spheres as nuclear medicines and application in other spheres such as agriculture, for example. Russia and ASEAN states do a lot to strengthen cooperation in transportation sphere. We're expanding transcontinental maritime and railroad cargo shipments. We're building new routes and launching joint logistics services. There are regular consultations on such acute topics as combating terrorism, drug trafficking, and organized crime, safe use of digital technologies. We intend to continue to jointly promote cooperation in cybersecurity and information and communication systems. Leading Russian IT companies are sharing with their Asian colleagues their cutting-edge developments in such sectors as data protection, artificial intelligence, and smart city technologies. Great attention was dedicated during the summit to the development of humanitarian exchanges, ties in culture, science, sports, and tourism. Russia traditionally helps the countries in Southeast Asia in building their national talent. Currently, our universities are training and giving education through state scholarships as well to about 5,000 citizens from the countries in the region. An important contribution in strengthening the academic ties has been made for more than 15 years by the ASEAN Center within MGIMO University. Mutual tourist flows are increasing. That is thanks to regular direct air flights between Russia and ASEAN states. Last year, the number of Russians who visited the resorts of Southeast Asia increased by 37%. It is on a par with the growth of tourists from the region into our country, that is 34%. Naturally, we always welcome international guests and that interest that they show towards our history, culture, and rich folk traditions of Russia. Incidentally, one of such ancient traditions, that is the festival of Sabantui, will be celebrated this weekend in Kazan and in other regions around the Volga River as well. That is just yet another confirmation. I would like to congratulate everyone who is to celebrate the Sabantui festival. They're dedicated to the end of field work in spring. Congratulations. If some participants of our summit will have a chance to stay over for a few days, I'm sure this rich and varied festivity program will leave an indelible impression. It is of principal importance that all heads of delegations spoke for maintaining close foreign policy coordination. Russia and ASEAN countries are sovereign, independent, and agentic states, hold the policy of strengthening international cooperation, and have respect towards all partners, their history, religion, and models of development traditions. On many issues of the modern world, our positions are close or they're coinciding. That applies in particular to the situation around Iran. Unanimously, we welcome the agreement between Iranian and American sides on cessation of the military conflict and about their work on modalities of a future peaceful agreement. We expect that the fact that the document was signed by heads of state, by President Trump and President Pezeshkian, they give us reason to believe that this document is a serious document that will be the foundation for the future agreements. We expect the situation in the Middle East and in the Persian Gulf will stabilize, which will have a positive effect, among others, on global energy and food markets. I'd like to highlight as well that Russia will continue to comprehensively facilitate ASEAN states in their effort to maintain peace and stability in Southeast Asia, and in a wider sense, in shaping around the Eurasian region of a robust, open, and holistic security system, as well as multifaceted cooperation. To bring together different integrational processes on the continent that are happening within such associations as ASEAN, Eurasian Economic Union, and Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Ladies and gentlemen, as you surely know, during the summit, participants have multiple bilateral contacts planned. I am also to hold a number of meetings with essentially all heads of state of the delegation. Some of these meetings have already taken place. Some are to take place later today. I'd like to use this opportunity and thank once again all colleagues for accepting our invitation to travel to Russia, to Kazan. Once again, I'd like to highlight that Russia generally is trying to build with states from Southeast Asia a multifaceted, a truly strategic partnership. And we see the same sentiment to act together, hand in hand, from our Asian friends. Once again, thank you to everyone. Your Excellency, thank you, Mr. President, as the chair in the association right now. You personally made a great contribution in organizing our today's work. We co-chaired with Mr. President our today's sessions, and I would like to specifically thank you for this joint work that we've done together during today's sessions. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, President Vladimir Putin, the members of the ASEAN delegations and the Russian delegation, members of the media, good afternoon. Today, ASEAN and the Russian Federation commemorated 35 years of dialogue relations and reaffirmed our shared commitment to a partnership that remains constructive, forward-looking, and responsive as responding to the evolving needs of our people. As co-chairs of the ASEAN-Russia Commemorative Summit, President Putin and I welcome the productive and substantive discussions among leaders on the future direction of ASEAN-Russia cooperation, as well as on regional and international developments of common concern. The summit underscored our collective commitment to strengthening cooperation across the political, security, economic, and socio-cultural pillars of engagement. We exchanged views on promoting peace, stability, and sustainable development, enhancing trade and investment, strengthening food and energy security, advancing science and technology cooperation, and deepening people-to-people exchanges. We also discussed developments in the wider Eurasian region and welcomed opportunities for greater engagement between ASEAN and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and the Eurasian Economic Union. We noted the growing interaction between ASEAN and these organizations and recognized the potential for enhanced cooperation in areas of mutual interest, including economic connectivity, trade and investment, energy, agriculture, tourism, and addressing transnational challenges. We likewise welcome the adoption of several important outcome documents that will guide the next phase of ASEAN-Russia relations. These include the Kazan Declaration 2026, ASEAN-Russia Unity and Diversity 35 Years Together, the ASEAN-Russia Comprehensive Plan of Action for 2026 to 2030, the Joint Statement and Concept Paper on Cultural Cooperation, and the Joint Statement and Concept Paper on Energy Cooperation. Together, these documents provide a comprehensive roadmap for expanding practical cooperation and delivering tangible results and benefits to our peoples in the years to come. As ASEAN Chair, the Philippines welcomes Russia's continued engagement with ASEAN and its support for ASEAN centrality and the ASEAN-led architecture. We remain committed to ensuring that the momentum generated at the summit translates into concrete outcomes and meaningful cooperation. On behalf of ASEAN, I express my appreciation to President Putin and the government of the Russian Federation for the warm hospitality extended to all the delegations for this commemorative summit. As we mark this important milestone, we look forward to working closely with Russia to further strengthen our partnership and to build a more peaceful, resilient, and prosperous future for our regions. Thank you.